Schefter, you told us a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
put it on the bottom line. Joe Burrow, #1 to Cincinnati. Has anything there changed?
No. Listen, the Bengals plan to take him at #1. Again, it'll be up to some team to try to change their mind, but the way it was told to me, the plan is to go full speed ahead and take Joe Burrow. If you're the Bengals and you've been looking for a quarterback like this, and you've got a guy whose girlfriend lives in Cincinnati, who basically is the #1 prospect in this draft at this particular moment in time, and you could secure the future of your franchise for years to come, why would you trade that for any number of first-round picks? And why would some team be willing to do that? The conversation came up in Miami as I was standing with by a couple of NFL owners, and they both looked and they said, not happening. Joe Burrow is going #1. I said, glad to see that you're with me on this.
That's hefty. All right, the man who doesn't need confirmation, getting it from the people who can offer it. So let's just talk here for a minute. If you're the Bengals, they have a history that a lot of people aren't all that excited about the notion of going there. So attracting free agents, maybe not so easy, et cetera. If the Dolphins were to bowl them over with offer, what would you think?
I mean, you take it if they bowl you over with an offer, because that position is unpredictable. As much as we want to pretend like we know, we've seen like future college Hall of Famers get in the NFL and fail. And we've seen guys who weren't that great in college get in the NFL and succeed. So if you can get more bites at the apple, you can get enough first-round picks, I think it's smarter to take the deal than not. And to TJ's point, he's right. When you get good players, you're going to have a good team. However, when you don't spend enough money on your scouting department, when you don't build up your facility enough to attract free agents, you're going to be less likely to get good players.
Look, an offer to the Bengals would have to be otherworldly, it seems like, for this to even be something they would consider. But you did some research on when this has happened other times, when these picks have been traded and how it worked out.
Yeah, and you start looking at some of the more prominent ones, the Titans, giving up the #1 pick, and the Rams going getting Jared Goff. They were able to get Derrick Henry out of that, Jack Conklin, a number of starters, and they just were able to get 3, 4, 5 picks in the top 2 rounds. And when you do that, your hit rate is going to increase simply because it's almost a 50-50 proposition with some of these guys, and it's not all that different than the RG3 trade, which was a similar situation.
To remind everyone of that circumstance, the Titans that year had just taken Marcus Mariota the year before. And I remember saying at the time, the best situation to be in the NFL is to have the #1 pick in a year there's a quarterback everyone wants and not need a quarterback. That's the situation Tennessee was in. The difference here is the Bengals do need a quarterback.
And there's a lot of things in life you never would say you would do. And then all of a sudden people start talking. And as that compensation starts to rise up, all of a sudden you become a little bit more negotiable. And to me, that threshold is 3 first-round picks. Because when you get them, and especially if one of them is a higher first-round pick, to where if the Bengals drop down, and let's say it's the Miami Dolphins, and they're sitting there at #5, and we could potentially get 2 of there. We play Andy Dalton for a season, and then we have a couple other guys that we can continue to fill and patch these holes.
Yeah, they still have Andy under 1 more year of contract, so it would be smart to do that. But I do understand this and agree with all this, but the risk on quarterbacks is so high and it's so much lower in other positions. So if you go with Chase Young or somebody like that, I feel like it's almost guaranteed that he's going to be an effective, high-end player, maybe Pro Bowl, maybe Hall of Fame future player, which it can't be said for a quarterback who, while he had the best passing season that we've ever seen in college, he's had 1 good season of college, and he started for more than 1 year. So there's still high variance for success for a guy like that. You think back to a guy like Tim Couch, fantastic college quarterback. Then he gets to the NFL, it doesn't work out.
Yeah, let me give Schefter the last word, because again, I'm still trying to just make this fun some way, and you're continuing to tell me that there's just no way it's going to happen. So I'll ask you a separate question. From the people that you've talked to, and we're still early in the process, and the medical is going to be a big part of this, how close do people consider Tua Tagovailoa as a prospect being to Joe Burrow?
Look, if he didn't hurt his hip, I think he very likely would have been the #1 pick. But there is a medical question mark there, and I think people feel fairly comfortable about it. But again, there's no clarity. He's going to get a checkup in about a month. We should get some more answers at that point in time. You know that every team that's serious about Tua will put him through an extensive medical test and then get an idea. And look, Joe Burrow looks like he's going to be a great NFL quarterback, and Tua looks like he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. And some teams have different tastes. We'll see where he winds up going. Tua's going to be a top 5, 6 pick in this draft without question in my mind. And we'll see how the medicals shake out. But look, Joe Burrow going to go #1, I believe, to Cincinnati. Other teams can try to make their pitch. Again, I heard an owner at the Super Bowl whose team would be in the market, I think, to move up, listen to other people tell him he's got no chance to go make it there.
I love it. And you know what? Just to remind people, we will get an update probably on Tua's medical situation next week. They're going to reevaluate that hip for another evaluation that should at least allow him to start to do some of that rehab that's more athletic-based. We're so glad you're watching ESPN on YouTube.
For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app.
And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus. We'll see you there.